Recently, our community came together to meet with some of the traditional custodians of the Central Coast. As we've done in the past, we were joining forces to protect an area known as Carryong Sacred Lands. Unfortunately, it's our local Aboriginal Land Council, Darkinjung Land Council, that's pushing to have part of this highly environmentally sensitive land bulldozed for housing development. Arnie Tracy Howie, a traditional custodian and descendant of Bungaree, explains to a very captive audience as to why Carryong Sacred Lands must be protected. Darkinjung Land Council are well aware that they'll be destroying at least one Aboriginal site if their plan goes ahead, and Arnie Tracy is doing everything she can to defend her ancestors' land.
At Carryong, there on Woy Woy Road, where the proposed rezoning for potentially a future development, the parcel of land there, it abuts Bambara Road, well, Bambara Aboriginal Place, which is part of the national park there. And the ridgeline that is part of where that is a very significant male initiation story that goes across that ridgeline. One really key important factor that a lot of people usually in the development world, they try and keep it under the blanket and not speak about it, is the inadvertent impacts that then happen after that estate is done. It's a run-on effect from that development. So they'll go, well, there's no actual sites in this development here. There's no, fauna habitat here in this development. We know that there is, but these are examples that they use. Oh, well, they're not actually here in this study area, this footprint. And totally disregard all of the surroundings of it. They are looking at just this parcel of land, their study area, but that's not how we look at land. That's not how we look at the country. When they destroy sites and sites get impacted along those journey routes, it's like, for an example, if you have a Bible and you start taking the pages out of the Bible, you're lessened with the ability to be able to teach somebody what that Bible means, the stories that are held within that Bible. It's the same with our sites. You start removing those sites and damaging those sites and destroying those sites. You're destroying part of that story and removing that visual ability to connect to that story. So we feel that it's like another dispossession that's occurring with our people now, just like what happened when the Europeans turned up 200 years ago. And we were dispossessed, by areas of our country, and were ridiculed and convicted for, the use of language, for doing traditional activities. We're going through a new phase of redispossession through the hands of government departments. And particularly with, the new system that seems to be rolling in, where land councils will be able to bypass local government and go straight to state government to get approval for their developments through what they're calling a gateway. If that process continues and is allowed to gain momentum and become part of, the everyday process of the way that that they're going to do things, then we are going to be continually dispossessed of our traditional countries and our traditional lands, which is then going to limit the ability for us to continue our cultural practices on those lands and protect that country how we're supposed to.
Hello, my name's Renee Sales. I'm descendant of the Darkinjung people of the Central Coast. My grandfather was Tommy Sales, and my family helped create the Darkinjung Land Council to help create land rights for the traditional custodians, which has not worked out at all. And we've basically had all our rights taken from us, and the Land Rights Act has been altered and changed over the past 30 years to we now have no rights whatsoever. We would like to protect our heritage and protect some of our sacred areas. It's not that we want to own or build and make millions of dollars. We just want to preserve our history and our heritage and our burials, and it's not happening. They're actually using the very thing that was supposed to give us rights to take our rights and use it for their own use. Carryong is a very sacred area to not just me, the Guringai as well, and it's a very sacred place. As you know, it borders onto Bambara sacred lands, and we're doing everything we can to save it, but once that's gone, there's going to be a lot more sites to go right across the state. Land councils as a corporate identity, and that's what people don't understand, is they're a corporate identity. No one actually owns a land council. You can become a member of a land council. Anyone can move into any area and become a member of the land council. They're generally not descendants of the actual tribal people, and that's why I call myself a traditional custodian.
Thank you for giving me your undivided attention and for your respect throughout today. I would actually like to pay my respects to all of you sitting here today, and thank you for the respect that you have shown me. Thank you very much.
As I said in the start, our communities come together with the traditional custodians to protect Carryong's sacred lands and the rest of our local area time and time again. If you want to add your voice, jump on Coast Environmental Alliance on Facebook and keep an eye out for future actions. If there was ever a time for good people to bind together to ensure a safe and sustainable future for our children, that time is now.